The Journey of the Little Oak Tree. Once upon a time, in a small forest, there stood a tiny acorn. It lay on the ground, surrounded by leaves and twigs, looking up at the towering oak trees above. Every time the wind blew, the little acorn wished it could grow as tall and strong as those majestic trees. But the acorn had doubts. "I'm just so small," it thought. "I'll never be like them. What if I can't grow at all?" The wise old oak tree standing nearby overheard the acorn's worries. With a soft rustling of leaves, it spoke. "Do not worry, little one. Every tree starts small. Your journey will be long, but you must trust in the process and never give up." The acorn listened to the oak tree's words, but still it was unsure. Days passed, and the acorn stayed in the same place, buried in the dirt. It was dark, and the soil was heavy, making it hard to move. But every now and then, it remembered the oak's advice. Trust the process. One day, the acorn began to feel something stir inside it. A tiny shoot began to push its way out, breaking through the tough soil. It was slow at first, but with each passing day, it grew stronger. The little sprout stretched its tiny leaves toward the sunlight, drinking in the warmth and energy. Seasons changed, and the sprout grew into a sapling. The journey was not easy. Strong winds would come, and the rains would sometimes be harsh. But the sapling stood firm, its roots growing deeper into the earth, and its branches reaching higher toward the sky. As the years went by, the sapling grew taller and stronger. It became a young oak tree, and then, eventually, a majestic oak like the ones it had once admired. The little acorn had become everything it had dreamed of, but only through patience, perseverance, and trust in the journey. One sunny afternoon, the oak tree stood proudly in the forest, its branches filled with leaves, casting shade over the ground. It smiled inwardly as it remembered the doubts it once had, realizing that everything it had gone through had shaped it into the beautiful tree it had become. And so, the oak tree whispered to the new acorns that had fallen around its roots, "Trust the process. No matter how small or how difficult the journey may seem, with time and faith, you too can grow into something amazing."